I bet that's Marco. Yep, it's Marco. What's up, Bugsy? Probably won't be a whole lot of heavy grinding tonight, guys. I'm gonna do a little lighter work tonight. But check out this fret. This is the one I did last night with the aluminum pins. I love that, dude. It's got to be hand sanded and stuff. I just wet it to make it shiny. That's gonna be gorgeous. And I guess I got to start getting handles on thugs. You know, I got to go to Alaska. So there's that. At least I'll be able to talk a little more. There'll be a little less noise tonight. And could do some grinding later. Maybe, I don't know. Saw should be there. Awesome. Thanks, Bugsy. Now I got this other blue in. Let me dip it. But it's, instead of aluminum pins, I did Tiffany blue pins on it. Then I got the purple one. All three of those got to be hand sanded. So I'm going to get one of these studs glued up first. Be right back. Sorry about cutting yesterday short, man. I was just in a little bit of a funk yesterday, man. I'm embarrassed to admit that I kind of let stuff on the social media and the news affect me. I'm not embarrassed by it, but I definitely have some, let's just say some emotional issues. I tend to get upset a little too easy. But that's not what we're here for. It's not what we're here to talk about. Just apologizing for not coming back yesterday. So, it's going to take me a minute to kind of wrap my head around what I need to be doing. I've been in grinding mode so long that my mind is kind of stuck there, I guess you could say. I got to figure out, get back into handle mode, I guess. Not looking forward to all this hand sanding. I am not the biggest fan of hand sanding. I will say that. I don't know what kind of psycho would be though. I say that, maybe, I'm sure hand sanding is therapeutic for some folks. It's just not so much for me. Getting this knife drawn out on this piece of scale material, so I can cut it out. Guess it'd help y'all could see, huh? Ben, big up, lad. Nice garage, mate. Wish I had that. Man, I wish I had this kind of workspace too. This belongs to a buddy of mine. I say a buddy of mine. He's like my brother, but he's kind enough to let me use his facilities. And it really means the world to me, man. I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for him at all. So, a lot of guys in the chat, normal people know who I'm talking about. They come out of Meathead. Yeah, I said Meathead. That's what we call him. His name's Scott, but he may be in a little bit. He usually stops by. Sometimes he does, sometimes he don't. But it is nice that every now and then I'm reminded how fortunate I am to have such a nice place to work. Because y'all are right, I am very fortunate. I was talking to Tina Turner the other day, you know, like he was talking about, you know, this piece of land with this size shop on it in California, probably be between $3.5–4 million. That's just crazy for me to even try to process that. Sorry I didn't turn the camera. In case you guys are wondering what I'm using, I don't think I've really talked about this much. A lot of y'all may have seen this on Instagram, the ads. The company called Swag Off-Road builds this table. It's just a piece of 3/16 steel with a break in each end. But then they drilled all the holes to make it bolt up to almost all your popular portabands. So you just bolt your portaband to it, put it in a vise. They make it with legs too. I'm going to put legs on this one eventually. But it turns your portaband into a bandsaw table. I think it was $100. Now, you know, if a guy had a piece of 3/16 steel and a little bit of knowledge, sure, he could build that for a whole lot less. But for the fact that it comes ready to go, it's a no-brainer, dude. It's worth $100 all day long. It's all right, guys. We have to crawl before we walk. I appreciate that, and you're 100% right. So, it's gonna be a little scattered here for a moment till I get well, I gotta grab some clamps. I already know I'm gonna need more clamps than what I've got here, or my weight at the very least. Kind of hate working with this super glue, dude. I glue my fingers together every time. I don't know why, no matter how careful I try to be, I'm going to glue my fingers together, no doubt. I'm going to scuff this up, give the glue a little more to grab hold of. I guess I'll turn the camera and show that. Not very interesting, but I'm going to run it across this 120 grit belt. All I did there was just scuff that G10 just enough to give the super glue a little more to bite into. I think for in trades and hobbyists, it's called CA glue. We don't call it super glue, but it's fucking super glue. And just like I promised, I've already glued my fingers. It's crazy how super glue sticks to you before it sticks to the product. Every time. Without question. Put that under my little press. And act like I'm trying to get this off, but in all honesty, I kind of enjoy at night when I go to bed and laying there trying to go to sleep. And you get that peel started, you can peel that piece of super glue off your off your fingers. I know I'm a weirdo. All right, I got those underweight. All this is it's a plate of steel with a silicone base. It's just this says seam weight. I don't know what it was made for, what hobby or craft it was intended to be used, but Meathead's daughter, one of my favorite people in the world, Riley, came up with it somewhere and asked me if I could use it, and I was like, heck yeah, I can use that. And I've been using it ever since. So that's pretty cool. While that's curing, I'm going to do some hand sanding. I know that's exciting. This is riveting content right here. But this is part of it. Has to be done. That's already looking pretty slick. I love this color, man, this cobalt blue. You guys can see the pattern in that, but there is like marbling in that blue. It is fairly random. One piece is going to show marbling a little better than another. It's the thing about these composites. Everything is kind of random. So like this piece has got more of the, you can see it's got more of the marbling showing up. I can't get rid of that little white spot right there, right by the pin. I don't know what that is, but I've sanded it several times and it's not going away. I'm not going to ruin the whole scale of it. Like I said, it's just part of the random. Just kind of has that bowling ball look. See what I mean? I love it. What's up, meathead? I didn't even know you was here. I was just talking about Miss Riley bug. That's not gonna work. You're probably right. It's a little warm out here today, meathead. Just to prepare you for you get here. I know you've been sitting in that air-conditioned office all day. It's pretty though. I'm not able to do a lot of the real fine, precise sanding. Fortunately, I'm trying. I'm getting better at it with my hands, but fortunately, Mr. Kyle Kuhnel's kind enough to, you know, he does a lot of touch-up work for me. Does a lot of that little precise stuff for me. I'm going to get this this thug ready for scales. Get it glued up and clamped up, because once I clamp it, I won't be able to do anything with it till tomorrow. And my tomorrows seem to always turn into day after tomorrows, which is actually good. The longer time you give that epoxy to set up, the better off you really are. No quicker way to ruin it than to rush it. I don't know what's up with that. Man, that pad has just absolutely stuck itself on there. I tore my finger open on that. Just trying to get that loose. What I'm getting at is I've got to touch up this area right here. See how it's all, looks like it's straight out of the mill. I got to get that cleaned up before I put scales on it. I was going to use that, but I can probably touch it up right here. Tell you the difference. Yeah, it's got that a lot cleaner. Here in just a second, we're gonna clamp this bad boy up. And we got a whole nother fret to do the handles on, so that's good. Good to have more work to do. Trying to do the old measure twice, cut once. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Oh, I got to shape these handles before I install them. Trying to remember which way I need to grind it. Almost done. let's see what we got now. It's good to me. Just apply some clear Gorilla Glue right here. Got back on that. Get that moist. For those of you who hate the word moist, I apologize. I've never understood that. Some of my favorite things in life are moist. Think I'll ever quite understand people that like things all dry. All right, so that's on there. It's all clamped down. Nothing else to do that but wait. Guys, if I learned anything about this, when it comes to epoxies, adhesives, anything you're using like that, ignore the time on the packaging. If it tells you it's cured in 5 minutes, give it overnight. If it says it's cured overnight, give it 3 days. There is nothing that will mess you up faster than manipulating adhesives or epoxies too soon. Just leave them alone. You know, you just got to figure that into your schedule that, hey, I can't touch that for 48 hours. I think that Gorilla Glue says, I don't even remember. I didn't read it because I don't care, because I know it's not right. Whatever it says is not long enough. Go ahead and hit this finger tool. I do still have to pour the pins in this one. I like to get it shaped first, just to make sure there's nothing wrong with it before I take it to the final steps. We'll do that here in a minute too. We'll mix up some 2-part epoxy and some we'll mix up some epoxy and some mica powder, fill those pinholes in. Just cutting those finger tool in right there. And that was quick enough. That's done already. And that die grinder really puts the work in. saw these ends off. Swag Off-Road also sells a foot switch. You can just walk up and step on it and turn that saw on. That is something I plan to acquire in the near future. I want that foot switch. Alright, that's got that handle all staked out. We gotta get the holes that are in this side drilled through to this side. It's weird when I go from grinding to installing handles and I realize the handle's getting close. It's like it all happens at once. It's like, oh shit, this is almost a knife. Like I'm almost done here. I'm sorry. Guess I got a view of the beautiful outdoors anyway. All right, got a little bit of touch up to do on it. We'll get this thing pinned up. Here's good. Come on. Show you all that process. Let me go grab a roll of tape. So all I have to do to pour those pins, because there's holes inside this handle too. So when I pour that epoxy in there, it'll actually flow through, fill those holes up. So it's not just creating a pin, it's also gluing one scale to the other, separate of it being glued to the metal itself. I've had really good luck out of doing it this way. And I don't have to buy the pin colors that, you know, whatever supply house happens to have at that time. I can pour them in any color I want. Completely up to me. So we're going to do that right now. Just a minute to get my materials together. My 2-part epoxy, my mixing cup. Got to find my mica powder I want to use. A spoon, a stir stick, and I'll need my drug glitter scales. Oh, they're right here. You can tell mine aren't drug glitter scales, they're covered in epoxy. Just set that right there, set our cup up there, turn that bad boy on, get these opened. Takes very little epoxy to just to pour pins. It's always some waste. However, you have to pour enough to even be able to mix it, you know what I mean? Not like you can just put a couple of drops in there. Even though that's all you really need. Now, to our mica powder. There is no end to the different colors of mica powder you can buy. They're not all created equally. Some mica powders I've found are better than others. I've never had an issue with the Eye Candy brand. It always seems to give a really good bold color. It mixes well. We're just gonna mix this up for a couple of minutes. Had people ask me about putting it in a vacuum chamber. And if you're doing something a little deeper, a little thicker, that might be necessary. Or if you're using a faster epoxy, but this epoxy is so slow. This is gonna take 2 hours to even semi-harden. And it'll be 48 hours or 24 hours before I can mess with it. But any air bubbles that get in this come out on their own anyway. Just really not, vacuum chamber's not necessary. I've got some epoxy over there that cures in as fast as 2 minutes. However, it doesn't, it's not as good an adhesive. So I prefer this for this application. Now, all I gotta do is put this stuff back where it came from. I'm gonna make sure I get this part on camera. I've just got the knife taped on one side. Always rub it nice and firm, make sure I've got a good seal. Lay it on the table and just pour the epoxy very slowly right into the hole. Do not want to rush it. All you're gonna do is make a huge mess. Yeah. And then I take the leftover and I pour it in a mold for absolutely no reason. Probably doesn't need it, probably doesn't benefit me at all. But I go ahead and pour it into a knife scale mold because there can be a use for that. I can use that as a liner. I can cut that up into little pieces and mix it into different colors of epoxy, but that's what, that was the goal right there. We got those pins poured. We'll get this over here out of the way, let it sit overnight. So yeah, that one is done. So you can see here I'd already poured some purple epoxy in this one. I may not even use this stuff, guys, I don't know. I just hate letting it sit in the cup and dry up, throw it in the garbage. But I've already got, man, I've got that stuff everywhere. I've got hundreds of pieces of that I'll probably never use, but it's just what I do. So now we're going to take this over here to our Scotch-Brite wheel. As you can see, these edges are very hard. We're going to soften all that up. That Scotch-Brite will remove this acrylic, but it removes it fairly slowly. Now you can bear into it and it'll chew into it just like you're grinding it off on a wheel. But we're just not going to do that. We're going to lightly graze it. About that to change this Scotch-Brite wheel out. It's about used up. See a couple of passes. They didn't put a hard chamfer, but it definitely softened those edges up. Running that spine across it. It's a nice, pretty semi-polish on there anyway. Now we can go to a higher grit sandpaper on this one, because we just did 220. Working our way up till it's nice and slick. I think we got some 600. No, that's the 220. I think this is a 600. Yep, 600. We'll just go ahead and wet that, lay it down here. I probably actually wasn't supposed to hit those edges till after I was done with this, but I didn't realize, or wasn't that I didn't realize, I'd forgotten that I hadn't got it slick enough before I did it, but I can always go back and hit it again. Nothing lost there. Bug on my neck. Go on now. See, the more you polish that, the more of that kind of marbling starts to show through. Just gets prettier and prettier. Because these frets are not all, they're not all claimed, by the way. There's still one or two available for sale. Let's see if I got anything higher than 600. I'm pretty sure I do. I think I got some 1000 grit here somewhere. Oh, I forgot about that. I can work on that tonight too. Can't work on it with Crispy in here though. I have to do that off camera. Yeah, I got some 2000 grit. Bunch of 400. I wasn't even sure I had. Let's go rub this with some 2000. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate the super chat, buddy. It's very kind. You friggin' tease. Well, Crispy, I always feel bad because I show things before they're done and you don't really get the true effect of how beautiful it is. And then I feel like by the time I do get it done and I show it, you already kind of knew what you were expecting. So I ain't trying to be mean. I just want to be able to hold that thing up in front of the camera and go, y'all fucking look at this. Now, every knife you make needs to be kind of an evolution from the last. They need to just keep getting better and better. Every now and then you'll have a slight step back. I mean, that happens. But that one, I'm just super excited about. Mostly because it's for Crispy. That's probably about as far as I'm going to sand that one. We'll get it polished up and shined. But we'll probably call that one done for now. As you can see, these frets have evolved a little bit. Like, you know, this one does not have a sharpening tool, nor does it have a lanyard hole, whereas this one does. So, you know, that's just been part of the evolution of that design. I'll be honest, I've had some people ask, tell me I should have done a sharpening tool, so I did, but this knife really doesn't need it. These plunges are so crisp and clean that they weren't a necessity, but some people just like knowing that they're there, so I get it. So let's see what else we got we could do handle wise. I've got Mr. Brian from Beehive Blades knife here somewhere that I've got to strip the handles off of because I'm redoing them. I guess I could work on his handle materials. That's kind of a cool and slightly in-depth project that's going to take me a little while. And I know he's not here watching, so because I want his to be a surprise too. He doesn't have a clue what I'm making him. I've already made him the knife. He bought it like last year. I have not had a healthy bowel movement today yet. Looking forward to it though. I'd let you know, but I don't know how to get in touch with you. Everybody needs a healthy bowel movement, that's for sure. So I'm going to cut out my aluminum honeycomb to fit in my epoxy tray here. What I'm trying to do is cut this out so that it fits nicely inside this silicone tray, because we're going to pour epoxy into this. And it's just a hair long, which will make it bow up, so we don't want that. There we go. That's perfection. This stuff's kind of a pain in the ass to work with. If you don't cut it nice and clean, it'll get all jagged, but those edges will be ground off anyway. They won't be part of the final product. So now we've got two pieces with honeycomb in it. Let me move these over here. I should have already done this for him. I've had it a little too long, to be honest, but still trying to get my head wrapped around exactly what I wanted to do. So then we're going to do yellow liners. If any of y'all are fans of these blades, you'll understand these color choices here shortly. I don't know if I can cut these liners with scissors. Some of them I can. I think these are going to be too thick. Well, it turns out I can. It's probably not the best idea though. So I'm going to cut that so that it lays inside the tray nice and flush. Then that's going to lay right on top of it. I got some bigger scissors over here to make cut this better. I'm actually breaking a sweat. Pretty warm in here today. Down here in Alabama, Greenbow, Alabama. This ain't Greenbow. I don't know if Greenbow even exists. I think they made it up for Forrest Gump. I could be wrong though. Nice. That's nice. And I just want to drip some random spots of CA glue in there so I can get these this mesh. What'd I do with my CA glue? God, I hope I didn't knock it over. Where the hell did it go? Shit, where did it go? Good Lord, what'd I do? There it is. I did knock it over, but it didn't spill. Thank goodness. That doesn't have to be exact. All I wanted to do is hold this stuff down, keep it from moving around too much. Put my weight on there, let that dry. Cure, whatever it's called. Now I gotta find, we're gonna use a different style of epoxy on this one. This is a acrylic epoxy that doesn't take near as long to set up, but time is not the issue. This is better at not blending. These colors will swirl into each other without actually muddying each other up. It's a little more precise process. It has to be, you have to keep a check on the temperature and all that good stuff. What's up, Aiden? We're making some beehive scales. Not with natural beehive. I was gonna do that. I may still one day. But this little project I'm doing right this minute is for free. This is a knife that Mr. B's Blades bought from me. Back when I very first got started making knives. And it's just boring. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But it's boring, so we're going to strip the handles off of it. I'm going to clean the grind up some, see if I can get it a little prettier, and put a way cooler handle on it than this. Something kind of channel themed. Don't you guys dare, if you know him or friends with him, don't go tell him what we're doing. I don't want him to see this until it's done. So, yeah, there's that. All right, so we got our epoxy. Let me go get my scale again. And my scooper. This is going to be really easy to jack up. I'm going to tell you all that right now. Yes, that was me farting, in case y'all heard it. All right, that one didn't glue down at all. Like it didn't even attempt to stick. Something with a little weight. Tape measure will do it. There we go. Don't need that anymore. So say I got red, I need red, yellow, and orange. Let me go dig through my epoxy colors, see if I can find. I know I have them. Just a matter of locating them. There it is. Yellow right there. I'm not seeing any orange. I know I have some. I got red, yellow. What's up, Patina? How do you strip the handles and grind them off? Well, I'm probably going to run them down the bandsaw first to remove the majority of it, so I'll create all that unnecessary dust. a hard time believing that I don't have any orange mica powder. But I also know this is not all my mica powder, so apparently I've got some layer somewhere. I want like a bright orange. I don't want to, I mean, there's even orange on the scale, so I know I've got orange. Clearly I've used it recently. That's probably why I can't find it, because I used it. Kind of aggravating. Let me go here and see if it's not separated from the bunch. I'd hate to not be able to do this just because I don't have the right colors. This stuff is beautiful. I may make some of those tonight too. Sunny orange. Gonna need a thermometer, which we have right there. Whew. This is not something I can rush into because, like I said, this is I don't want to call it precise, but it's easy to fuck it up, I'll put it that way. Is there a stack of wood? There is, Ed. You need to come move that in. I think it's exposed. I think it's in the weather. Let's go look while I'm talking about it. I think they left it. I don't think they got it under the awning. And I don't know if you know the cat is back. And I don't know if you put the food out like that or if it knocked it over and got into it, but it was eating it when I got here. Yeah, dude, that's, all that's exposed. Grab a damn tarp, Shane. I will if he needs me to. But I'm sure he's coming here when he gets off anyway. Tina, always looking out for Meathead. Got on to me for getting grinding dust on his outboard. All right. I'm going to be honest, guys. I've not done this yet. I've done pieces and parts of this project before. But this actual thing that I have planned, I have not tried. So, I'm a little nervous. Just to be honest. I mean, tops, I'm gonna lose $10. So it's not a money issue. I hate failing at things during a live where you guys can see it. But if that's what happens, y'all just got to witness the learning process. Just breathe and move forward. You're exactly right, Crispy. That's what I'm about to do. It absolutely is. We got 1 ounce in that cup. We're going to put 1 ounce in this cup. That stuff just wants to run down the damn jug. That's aggravating. All right, now we're going to mix the mica powders in with just the part A, which we're going to move out of the way so we don't get them confused. We're going to get those stirred up. Omega had brought me home a bunch of these really cool little stir sticks. These things come in really handy, Meathead. I'll be stirring the hell out of stuff with these things. The great thing is when you get done with them, you still sand them down and use pencils for them. You know it's, no petty enemy. All right. Not gonna lie, I'm a tad bit nervous here. I've done a good bit of epoxy work, guys, but I've not done a good bit of acrylic work. It's just a urethane epoxy, urethane resin instead of epoxy resin. Whole different set of rules. Whole different timeline you have to abide by, because this is going to set up and be hard in about 20 minutes. The time isn't what we're concerned with. We're concerned with temperature. And until I mix that second part of the epoxy in there, I have all the time in the world. But once I do that, I've got like just a few minutes to make what I want to happen. And it could look like shit. Meathead knows this because the last one I did, it looks like shit. But I'm hoping I learned enough from that to get this one right. If not, we'll throw them in the garbage. No harm, no foul. Just gonna stir this up till all that mica powder is dissolved and mixes in with that urethane. Since I'm going from lighter to darker, I use the same stick and just keep moving forward. I mean, I'll wipe off the excess, but now to stir the orange. It doesn't take much mica powder at all to color 1 ounce of epoxy. But one thing I've learned with that glow epoxy, or that glow mica, it takes a shit ton of it to make it glow. I know what you're wondering. How much is a shit ton? It's more than a regular ton. Man, I bet that old cat that owns the Web Concrete and Building Supply probably wouldn't approve of you watching some dumb redneck on the internet while you're on the clock. How about you just get your ass to work? All right. Here goes nothing. So now the clock has started. No, not the clock, the thermometer. If you're looking to build a house in the southeastern United States, hit up my boy, Meathead at Webb Concrete. All right, let's take a temperature. All right, it's already up to 100 degrees. So at 120, you let it wait till it hits 120, I can pour them all into one cup and just swirl it one time, and the colors won't blend. They'll attach, but like the yellow won't blend into the red and turn it orange. They'll be separate waves of color. That's the plan. So that's what we're shooting for. Whether it works or not, I don't know. Because like I said, I've seen it done, I've researched it, but I haven't actually experienced it. Or with it being this warm in the shop, this stuff heated up really quick. Because it was 83 degrees when we started. It's 100, 104, 101, 100. So each one, in the order that I stirred them in, they're heating up faster and faster. So put it to the test, bud. So yeah, when those get done, once I get the scales like I want them, then I'm going to remove these handles and church that knife up a little bit. That's the plan. We'll see if I pull it off. So The viscosity hasn't really changed yet. It'll start to thicken just a little bit as the temperature starts to climb. It's at 115 already. 108, 109. So the chemical reaction is happening. I don't know why I'm nervous. Like I said, all I gotta do is throw this shit away if it don't work. The yellow's at 117. You can wait till it gets as high as 130. This says you have a 20-minute working time, and you can uncast it in like an hour, I think. Demo time, 4 hours, I'm sorry. Working time, 12 minutes. It has not been 12 minutes. This stuff's heating up fast. 125, 117, 120. I don't know why the orange isn't heating up as fast. It was ahead of the red, now it's not. What I'm gonna do, when they're at the temperature, I'm gonna pour all 3 of them into 1 cup, stick my stick in there, swirl it 1 time, and then pour it into the mold. That's the plan. I just also realized I need a bigger cup, so I'm gonna use this one. Wash this out with some alcohol. They won't all fit in one of those little cups. So I'm going to pour it into this cup, and then from this cup to the mold. When we hit 130, I'm pouring. Oh, we're there on that one, the 144. Make 1 swirl and pour it. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have you on camera. That's it. You can see the bubbles are starting to come up and pop. Hoping y'all can see that. Four hours from now, I can pop those out of the mold and grind them, and you'll be able to see the red, orange, and yellow kind of mixed together. And again, Bees Blades does not know what I'm doing, so please keep this between us. I really want it to be a surprise to him. But I'm happy with it right now. Really happy with the transition of colors. You know, they're not blending. Causing a little vibration. See if I get any more bubbles to come up. Bubbles are not your friend. I do have somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. Got a heat gun. You can blow on it with a heat gun and it'll cause the bubbles to pop faster, but maybe we won't need it. I don't think so. I think it's going to be good. I've got some bigger molds over here. Since we're doing epoxy work, these will be some I'll have to cut into slabs when I get done. Let me see if I can find them. So like this one, this will make a whole solid block. Yeah, that's already starting to like gel up. Like not hardened, but it's already not floppy. I'm going to move it so I don't get a bunch of dust and stuff in it. My only concern is if I'm going to pour something this thick, I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off without getting bubbles in it. Yeah, Jim, I've got it's really more of a friend of Meathead's that owns a cabinet shop with a high-end bandsaw, so I can take my blocks over there and cut them up. But I don't know if I trust pouring up that much at one time. What's up, Papa? Just not sure if I'm going to be able to pull that off and not have bubbles in it. So I may hold up and get me a vacuum. If I haven't had a vacuum pump, I got to build a damn vacuum chamber. All that. I can do it with regular epoxy, but I've got to research how to pull that off a little more. It's the same process you can do with epoxy resin. It takes a whole lot longer, but right, and I don't have a way to put it under vacuum. And I think if I pour it this thick, I don't think the bubbles will ever all come out. So I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to have to give me one of them little vacuum chamber things. One of those vacuum pots. I can just set it down in there. Yeah, you can hit it with a torch, stuff like that, but something that thick, I just don't trust it. Don't trust it. Let's accomplish these scales first before we move on to something even more tedious. Kind of pissed off about that, man. That damn a Scotch-Brite pad did that. In case you weren't here, I was trying to spin it to take it off. The damn Scotch-Brite just tore my thumb up. Whew. Got that out of the way. I could do just some scales and not a block, though. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll just do one set of scales instead of doing a big block. Because I do want some more of this scale material. So I got my Tiffany blue here. I need to find my cobalt blue. Give me a minute. We're gonna need some measuring cups. We don't need a bigger cup this time. What I'm trying to redo is those, if you guys remember the scales on Blue Minotti's knife, that's what we're shooting for here. Something close, it's not gonna be exact. That's what we're shooting for. Get my white liners laid in there. I hope this is more interesting than the constant grinding I was doing. Because I'll be honest, I'm not bored of grinding, but I was getting bored of filming it. This is not a mica powder. For some reason in Tiffany blue, even Eye Candy sells it in a pigment like an ink. It just comes out better. It just works better for some reason in that particular color. So I guess we'll pour up 2 ounces of this. That may be too much. I'll go with 1.5 ounces. Yeah, that works because I'm doing 2 colors. So 1.5 of one, 1.5 ounces of the other. This stuff's a little bit messy because it's a liquid. It just a little more difficult to work with. It's very sticky. Very, very sticky, sir. And you can't really scoop it. Really, all you can do is pour it. Go get another stir stick. Or as you carpenters would call them, pencils. What'd I just do with them? Oh, right in front of me. I think that needs a little more. Still think it needs a little more. That is just not lightening up like I remember. Because I am using a different type of epoxy. This might not work out. It looks completely different than it did the last time I used it. There we go. It's starting to lighten up now. Just took a lot more of it. This might not work, guys. I may have messed this up. I don't know why, but this liquid's not mixing. Like I've used it with epoxy resin, but not urethane resin. It just doesn't seem to be mixing up the same. Like, it's almost like the stuff in it is kind of suspending in it a little bit. As you can see how light it looks here, but yet how dark it looks in this cup. Got me a little worried. But again, if it don't work, all we wasted was a few bucks. It's not going to be the end of the world. Need to stop. I did just run that. I don't know if any of you guys noticed, I just added the exact same epoxy. So yeah, I did run it. So there's that. That's why some things you probably just don't want to do while you're live. Oh well. I have a backup plan though. Luckily, I didn't ruin this one, just that one. I just have to save that liquid for when I'm using regular epoxy, I guess. You live and you learn. Doesn't matter how much YouTube you watch, eventually you're gonna have an issue. You're gonna learn something you didn't know. Grabbed the wrong jug. If there is one mica powder color that I bought that I've been more than happy with, it's this Eye Candy No Con Blue. This stuff is badass. All right, let's get a temperature. Already at 93, 92. This one's going to heat up faster than this one because there's more of it. Well, we lost that audience. We were up close to 100 earlier. They shagged out. Kind of makes a pretty cut, doesn't it? $95, $99. What's up, Chucky? Now, Chuck, we're mixing acrylic resins. pour in knife scales. Chuck it, since you're here, I'm pretty sure you're a Bees Blades fan. I don't know if you remember when Brian bought one of my first knives, but it was very boring, man. So look, I got this aluminum honeycomb and I put it in a mold and poured his colors. You can't see the honeycomb right now, but when I pop these out, it's got a yellow liner behind it, and there will be aluminum honeycomb all in here with that red, yellow, and orange flowing through it. Then I'll do black pins. What do you think about that? Don't tell Bees. I don't want him to know. I don't want him to know anything about it until he sees it for the first time. I like the shit out of Brian, man, and he's been good to me. He was the first YouTuber to buy a knife for me, and the one he bought wasn't great. So I talked him into sending it back to me so I could church it up a bit. And of course, you know, he said it wasn't necessary. He said he was happy with it. But this is it right here, by the way. It's really dirty from laying around in my shop. There's just one of my original homesteads. This is in 64 HRC, 154 CM. This is some bad stuff, but I want to clean the grind up a little bit. I want to strip these handles off and put those B-scale handles on. I hope it makes him as happy as it does me doing it for him. I've got some grinding I could do. I've got one more forest that still has to be ground. And I've got some heat treating I've got to do. So I just wanted to take a little break from grinding for a few days. Standing there staring at that belt, man, it can get a little monotonous. I got this one close to done today. Those are aluminum pins. I really like those aluminum pins, dude. I mean, I ain't got them sanded all the way yet, but when they get a nice shine to them, they look really good. So we're waiting on 130 degrees. That's what we're looking for out of this epoxy. This one's at 120. That's at 113. So we're going to pour this one in here. I'm going to take this one and squeeze the cup and just pour almost like little pinstripes in it, and then swipe through it to kind of make it swirl a little bit. That's the plan anyway. Already ruined one set, so maybe I won't ruin this one. I am going to do that deep pour within the next few days, guys, but I got to research what temperature that epoxy resin has to be before you can do that. All right, we're at 135. Now we'll just take this. So we're not trying to mix the colors, just trying to swirl them. We don't want them to really bleed into each other as much. We want a hard contrast between one color and the next. Now we'll set this over here and let it harden. We've got some left here, so I'll go ahead and pour it into a mold. I don't know what I'll ever do with it. Like I said, I may chip it up, and well, that's already getting thick. Look at that. Did y'all see that? It just fell out as a solid chunk already. So yeah, it's too late. I can't do anything with that. Wow. That was very fast. So that will be a big Guttenberger. Like that won't even, look at it. It just fell out as a clump. But this is how people have learned to work with this stuff. You just keep making mistakes and making nothing until you figure out something cool to do with it. All right, what else we got to do tonight? I mean, we could start grinding this last force. I wouldn't mind grinding one tonight. Here's me, hit it. Here and the missus just pulled up. I'll get this last force chucked up. What's up, me head? You gotta go. He got jail? Yeah. He got jail?
No, that's the day. I said, you got it. I said, that's the biggest lie. You think Rick Grant's gonna play Ricky Blade on the ground?
Yeah, you never know, dude. You don't ever know who you're messing with anymore, dog.
Yeah, I know better than that.
Hey, man, things change. People get old. I've heard them bikers done whooped him once.
And Ricky's just gonna bitch out and leave.
He called the law to him last. So yeah, entirely possible.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
You can't stay top dog forever. Don't care how bad you are.
That's just not gonna happen.
I don't know.
Might happen to you, it ain't gonna happen to me.
Might happen to me, you jackass. All right, back to the board and ass grinding. Got to be done though. Let me move these things over here so we get no dust on them. Make that bitch a little hot. I don't know what you're talking about, Chuck. Oh, yeah. Chuck, I ain't never thought about that, but I bet you guys that watch this on headphones, this crying in public sucks. Not exactly music to your ears, I'm sure. I guess everybody must have gone live. I ain't gonna be on much longer. Probably head to the house and join Javon. Guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna head to the house, join Javon for his live stream and check out, maybe hit some of these for a minute. I got done most of what I wanted to get done tonight. And I'm still a little fragile from the recent, having my heart worked on, so don't want to push it too hard. Give that epoxy work I done, give it a few hours to cure. Come back tomorrow and maybe hit it again. We'll see you, Jacob. I'll see you over on Javon's Friday Night Flicks, buddy. I'll probably join them on their live stream. Y'all have a good one.